Hi folks, in this video I'm just going to present speech analytics in the Xarios call recorder and how you can use speech analytics to get more in-depth analysis and availability of information in your call recordings. We'll start by logging in, if I could spell, and once you're logged in, then the main areas where speech analytics is visible is in the recordings page. At the point where you've got a call recording, you can click on play for that call recording.
Welcome to Sunbeam Travel.
And in this case, we have a fictitious company called Sunbeam Travel, and I can search for the existence of Welcome to Sunbeam Travel in the call. And maybe I would use that example to make sure that the calls are being greeted correctly. And if I search, I can see where in the call that phrase has been spoken. So again, I can see that indicated. If I hover over it, it's pretty much 100% match. That's what it's looking for. If I, by example, change that to just Sunbeam Travel, you'll notice that the indicator here has gone down slightly because it's saying, okay, you've given me 3 or 4 phonemes here, but you know, the more that I get, the more I'm going to get to a confidence level that you've given me sufficient information on which I could do a valid search. And you might notice that you know you get a slightly different confidence level that was what was spoken. And to emphasize that a little bit more, I can press it again and I can see that, okay, we think that word was spoken there, but it was, you know, it had less context around it. Now, by example, if I want to show...
yes, we actually have a booking with you for some flights.
Let's see. I'm going to search for we have a booking. And I'm going to lower the threshold at which it believes it's got a match. So you'll notice that this confidence level here is critical to screening out false positives so that you don't end up with too many potential matches. The thing with speech analytics is it's not an exact science, so you have to play and get used to how the combination of the quantity of phonemes you create and the confidence level, the match of those two, gives you the optimum chance of finding what you're looking for.
We actually have a booking with you for some flights. Yeah?
So that's pretty straightforward to do. We then have some logic here. So it's possible for us to say, welcome to Sunbeam Travel, as well as we have a booking. And as long as any of those are true, it will find them for us. So now I can see that both examples are there. I could say all of those must be true. And if I search for them, it will find them. And then I can say, but they all need to be spoken within 10 seconds. But that's not true. So you can see how you can tweak the combination of phrases and logic to give you a more detailed view on what it is you're looking for. The other places that you can specify a search criteria is using a saved filter, but beware that you don't use a very long period. In this case, I've predefined a filter that contains that phrase, and when I apply it, it will now take around 10 seconds or so just to search through the calls in the last hour. And the big difference there, of course, is that in the first example, I was only searching through a single index file, but in this case, I'm searching through 500 index files, and obviously it takes a lot longer to do that. If I were to select that for last month, then it would take a long time, so we do not recommend you use that technique, and I'll show you a different technique later on that will give you a better way to do that. So in this case, it's telling us what we think the confidence level is, and I can see that if I click on here, it allows me to play back the calls, and again it shows me
Welcome to Sunbeam Travel.
Where in the call that that phrase has been spoken. So it's really useful to to search using a predefined filter. And then I can combine that filter with searching by teams or by specific outside numbers and say, okay, for all these outside numbers, find me where that phrase was spoken, and that's when you can really zone in on what you're looking for. So then the other areas where speech analytics is rendered visible in the business, in the user interface here, one of them is in workflow. So the idea of workflow is when you're using call scoring. So with call scoring, you would usually find calls for the blue team, let's say, and you would apply them to a team leader. Let's say Rachel is the team leader. If I edit this workflow, I can see that I've created a particular workflow here and selected which recordings I'm interested in. And I've said, okay, find all of the calls, or should I say find 10 calls this week for the blue team. The key thing to understand is that in the workflow filter for the blue team, if I chose to, I could create a phrase search as part of what I'm looking for in the same way as I did before. So I could put welcome to Sunbeam Travel or find all of the calls that were a complaint or something like that, and combine that with searching for calls that need call scoring. And that's a way to populate the task list of calls like this. Find me all of the calls where that phrase was spoken, so that those types of calls could be scored by a supervisor. And then finally, what I think is a great feature is call categorization. So the way this works is you would set up a category that combines data about the call, so find all of the calls where this was the DDI, and in addition to that, find those calls that also contain the phrase, can I speak to your manager? And in that case, all I want you to do is put the word complaint against the call recording. And the way this works is that the system, once configured, will scan 100% of the calls all of the time. And as soon as it finds a call with both of those matching criteria, it will tag the call with the word complaint and effectively categorize that call. And the beauty of that is that if I'm searching for calls that are a complaint, I can drop the list down here and I can choose the word complaint and search for those calls. And all I'm looking for is the text now for complaint. So that does permit me to search for all of the calls last month that were a complaint very quickly, because I'm not scanning through all of the index files at the point where I'm making the search. That's all been done in the background 24 hours a day, and all I'm looking for now is the word complaint. And that's it. Thanks for watching, folks.